Wondering what life is really like on Canada's wild and crazy West Coast? This podcast is all about the people, the places, and Vancouver Island time. Together, we'll explore this island paradise, a combination of ocean, city, and country living. We'll meet the fabulous locals, such as the Fudge Fairy and the Chicken Lady, who have chosen Victoria and Vancouver Island as their home. And we'll learn what makes this place unique and special to those who live here. And now, your host of Vancouver Island Time, Jane Johnston.
Hi everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. I'm here with
Alicia Lillyman.
And we're going to be talking about East Sooke. I have a listing in the area, which has become very popular. It's a little cabin in the woods, and it's kind of like everybody's ideal retreat. How have you found living in East Sooke?
Absolutely. Ideal retreat for sure. It's beautiful here. We're right close to the East Sooke Park, obviously. There's multiple entrances to the park. It's just absolutely stunning.
So one of the first things I did when I moved to Victoria was I went for a hike in East Sooke Park, and I saw the petroglyphs, which is really nice.
Yeah, they are. It's just an amazing experience, and the hike isn't that challenging as well. So there's all different variations, but yeah, there's lots to do out there for sure.
So are dogs allowed in that park?
Yeah, absolutely. We take ours often. There's lots of locals that go down there. It's a great place to meet people. The community out here is just fantastic. I have met so many wonderful people, all different kinds of people. Bringing your dog out is a great way to do it for sure.
So you're actually not part of Victoria. You're not really part of Sooke. You're East Sooke, which is the Capital Regional District. Mm-hmm. How does that work for you?
It's been really good, actually. I mentioned to you the speculation tax, actually. Being in East Sooke means we're exempt from that because we're part of the CRD. And as far as just like the distance, it's really not that bad, especially like your travel is beautiful on that road. It's a lot more, you go as opposed to the stop and go in the traffic. I think it's just a fantastic location.
So there's kind of two roads out here. One is along Metchosin Road. The other's along
Gillespie. And now they're double lane bridge there. Yeah.
Right. So previously with the one lane bridge, you had to wait, and the other cars are coming around the corner, and oh my God, are you going to make it? But do you find it easier going along Metchosin Road?
It depends on what I'm trying to do. But I like the Metchosin Drive. I like it. It's a little bit windy. It keeps you alert. But there's just these beautiful peekaboos to the ocean that, you can't beat it. So it depends on what I'm doing. But if you're trying to get into town, your quickest way, at least from where we're located on the, deep East Sooke. We're deep East Sooke because we're past the store. Some people call it that. Anyways. I like doing the Gillespie if I'm trying to get somewhere quickly, and that double lane bridge has been nice. I also know that like running into people on the bridge when it was one lane and you got to wait, and it's nice to have that double lane.
Plain chicken. Okay. What about the corner store here? Tell me about it, because it's kind of like an icon in the neighborhood. For me, it's kind of interesting because I live in Metchosin, so it's closer for you to go to a store than it is for me in Metchosin.
Yeah, actually, I've never even thought about it that way. It's true. Depends on how long you've been here. You either call it Bill's store or Dave's store. I call it Dave's store. I haven't been here quite as long as some people. Dave is himself is a cornerstone of our community. He's in the buyer department. He runs the store. He's just an all-around awesome person. And they have everything there. It's crazy. Like, they have hardware supplies. They have, we've gone up there. We got Tylenol when our son was sick. And, you need soap. You need a razor blade for shaving your legs. Like, you can get I don't even know where he keeps it all sometimes. He's got, and then you got every kind of chocolate bar you could ever want. And
I know.
Yeah, really. I know it's a vice, and they get ice cream in the spring and summer. So yeah, that's a place we stop quite often. There's also the Taste Buds now, that food truck that's there. They are open on the weekends, all the time in the summer. Sometimes I think even during the week. The store is awesome. I absolutely love it. And a lot of our grocery shopping is actually done there. And I don't notice much of a difference in cost either. So, yeah.
So what about in terms of eating out here? There are a couple of places that are seasonal. Where do you go to eat?
My Chosen. My Chosen is amazing. Their pizza's also really good. I mean, you wouldn't survive out in this area if you weren't like awesome. And My Chosen's really good. Really good. Their milkshakes.
My son works for My Chosen Pizza.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay. See, there you go. And they have goats.
Yeah, and it's kind of a rite of passage for locals to work in My Chosen Cafe.
I definitely would say that for sure. If I I did apply there. I did apply there at one point myself because it just looks like such a fun place to work. So yeah, absolutely.
Our kids went to school with their kids, or not to school. Our kids went to after school care with their kids, and Shannon makes their cheesecakes.
Oh. And we actually had the cheesecake like not even that long ago that's there. If we do go out, that's one of the places we go actually is My Chosen for sure.
And they have that ice cream shop right beside it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And that's like I mentioned the milkshakes, and they always put a little cherry on top, which is really cool.
Do you ever go to the Broken Paddle?
No, and I haven't been there. That's next door, close to the same. No, what's that like?
It's good. It's she has an awesome cookie called a commuter cookie, and she serves amazing coffees. And then if you go during the day, they're not open for dinner, but if you go during the day, you can get homemade soups and breads and cakes and desserts. It's really good.
Oh, definitely have to check that one out for sure.
What about in the marina here? There's a little restaurant.
Oh, yes, the Smokin' Tuna. Yeah, I can't even believe I overlooked that one. It's right on your way to Beecher Bay too. So if you're going to the Aylard Farms area to do the petroglyphs or just access the park, it's beautiful. There's the Smokin' Tuna. Yeah, it's phenomenal. For sure.
And what do you think about Beecher Bay? So they have the new development there, the Spirit Bay development.
That's right. Yeah, and I haven't looked a lot into that. I've seen them. They're really cool colors. There's the blue and the red and the yellow houses. Yeah, they're wonderful. I think they're like quite tall too, a couple levels. Yeah.
A lot of them have views, and what's kind of cool, they have a marina right there where you can park your boat, but also they don't allow fishing in that area, so they have whales that come in, I'm told.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and we have only seen one whale since we've been here. Mind you, we don't have water view, but my parents used to live on Seagirt, and we saw whales there in the basin there. I think everybody's seen them at least once. If you live out here, you've definitely spotted them, but we'll have to check out that area to see them for sure.
And what about for your son? So you have a 2-year-old. What do you do for daycare if you have daycare or, playmates? Because you are kind of remote.
Yes. But there is a daycare out here. It's again, like people, I think, underestimate what's hidden in all these little spots. So, there's, I believe it's called Ecole Pete Petites. It's lots of the people I know here, their children go there. My son does not. He's home here with me. But we go to the Strong Start at Hans Helgensen. There's lots and lots of activities out here for kids, and a huge community of families. I've got friends all over around here, and it's just a short walk up the road to our one friend's house, and she's got a daughter who's 4. But yeah, there's childcare out here and everything. Yeah.
And there's also for people who want to volunteer. So there's the fire department. Yeah. And any other opportunities?
Well, I know that there's the fire department, there's search and rescue, volunteer wise, I would definitely say if you're interested in doing those kinds of things, the East Sooke community page on Facebook is a great resource. Also, checking at Dave's store, looking on the board, there's again, it's that sense of community out here that you don't get in the city. So there's a bulletin board, people put stuff up there, and I'm sure there's other volunteer opportunities. Absolutely. We did a garbage pickup as a community. I can't remember what that was back. It was the middle of last year anyway, sometime in the summer months. And we all went around and cleaned up our community. There was a big, dump site at Dave's store, and you put it in, and we totaled up the volume and everything. It was there's lots of opportunities like that too that are posted that you can look for.
So when you go in for bigger shops, do you tend to go to Langford or do you tend to go into Sooke?
I'd say it's about 50-50. They both have their merits. Sooke, we enjoy going there. My parents are over there. And we like it to go to, if we're going to go to Village, we go there for groceries most often. Langford, if we're looking for bigger stuff, it's the same distance from where we are actually. So it doesn't really matter too much, but Langford, if we're going to do any of the big mall shopping or we need furniture or something like that, that's where we go.
And last question. So in terms of grocery stores, where do you go? Which grocery stores?
So here we actually do a lot at Dave's store. We do, I would say, about 50% of our groceries at Dave's store. The rest we do at Village and occasionally at Western as well, which are both located in Sooke. And at Christmas, we usually buy our turkey in Langford. So.
All right. So if you want more information about the East Sooke area, contact me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. And if you're interested in learning about the Wicked Chicken, stay tuned because we're going to be back and we're going to talk about what it's like to own and operate a chicken factory, or what do you say?
I guess
own and operate
at this point right now with all the little birdies back there. We're just chicken connoisseurs. That's what we are. Chicken. I don't know, Jane. What would you call it?
Well, I think it's a lifestyle, actually.
Yes. You know what? That's a good way of putting it. If you're going to operate this kind of chicken lifestyle, I don't like to think of our birds as commodities, really. So,
otherwise, you wouldn't name them.
I can't believe I let Athen name Walter.
Okay, so stay tuned. We're going to be back with some fun stories about being the owner of a chicken and all the experiences you have and information. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Bye.
Vancouver Island Time is brought to you by the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, Victoria, where we bring local expertise and global presence to your property.
Hi, everybody. It's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group of Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. And I'm here with
Alicia Lillyman.
And you are?
The Wicked Chicken. That's right. The Wicked Chicken.
So how did you get into chickens?
My husband, actually, I have to give him the credit. He wanted chickens. I also wanted chickens. I did not know the work of chickens. Now I love the work of chickens. I am the chicken lady too. Yeah.
So I have chicken sat, and which means that I've gone over to somebody's house when they've been away and had to take care of their chickens. So the first thing that surprised me when I had to take them off their roost and put them into their enclosure was how warm their feet were.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And just in general, they are super warm. But it's interesting that you had to pick them up and put them onto the roost. Ours all file in nice and easy into the coop on their own. It's good training, I think.
How long did it take for you to get comfortable raising chickens?
I would say the first 6 months were really challenging. There is a big learning curve. Chickens' health is not the same as human health, obviously. So learning about different things that can affect them. We also happened to take on a chicken that had a sprained leg when we first started. So a little bit of work there. I would say the first 6 months was a little bit touch and go. We also had lots of pullets, so weren't getting a ton of eggs. So I was like, where are my eggs? But now it's just second nature. We go out, we let our birds out. Lots of people have automatic doors. We are not that fancy. We go out, we let our birds out. We have a feeder that they can get to on their own. It's locked in an aviary, so fortunately we don't have to feed them every day. But we throw scratch down. We bring them all of our kitchen scraps, which is amazing, a benefit I never really knew of. So all of our stuff, certain things they can't have. So of course you got to look into that, what you're giving them, but they love raspberries, or at least ours do, and grapes. Yeah.
So does that affect the taste of the eggs?
It does if you feed them a lot. But we haven't, I do notice a huge difference in our eggs versus store-bought eggs. But as far as their taste, I can definitely tell like a free range chicken that gets out and pecks and scratches and gets bugs and all that kind of stuff. But no, I haven't noticed anything from our food that we feed them has made much of an effect.
So where do you get your chickens?
So I get ours from the Three Sisters. Most of ours came from there at the beginning, which is in Sooke. A wonderful lady. Other than that, we take on rescue chickens as well. So high lines that or hybrid layers that are no longer good to others come here. They usually are still producing eggs, but not at the volume that they were originally. And oftentimes they come with health problems. So we treat those health problems, much to my husband's dismay. It ends up being a lot more of a in the hole than a moneymaker, but it feels good to do it. So we do get hens from there. And other than that, friends, and we hatch our own.
So how easy is it to hatch your own chickens?
Oh, goodness. It seems easy because you have an incubator, or you can put it under a broody hen, which some people do as well. I like to be more hands-on. But 21 days is what it takes. However, you got to monitor your humidity in your incubator. Make sure that there's water. So there's a little water tray in the bottom. Make sure that there's water there. Make sure that the temperature stays. And in East Sooke, where we do get some power outages, it's pretty good to have a generator. And other than that, the hatch is the big exciting day. So when they come out, it usually takes anywhere from the 21 days, which they say it will, up until about 25. Yeah, it's easy in some ways and hard in others.
So when you're saying the incubator for the mother hen.
No. So there's two ways you can kind of do it. You can let a hen go broody, which some people do. They lay a clutch of eggs. When they get anywhere from 10 to 13-ish eggs, they'll go, yeah, that looks like a good amount of eggs. And then they'll go broody, which means that they don't lay anymore and they just want to sit. They just want to sit on their eggs. They want to make their eggs hatch. Hens are phenomenal at it. I've heard people even say that they'll roll out eggs that are rotten. They'll move them out. They basically just get up to eat and drink, and then they go back on their eggs. An incubator is a machine, and that's the way we do it. We have one in our reading room, and it's what's called a hoovabator. We bought that from Willow Wind. Phenomenal. Willow Wind is amazing. And it's a machine that monitors humidity and does all that temperature stuff for you. It's got a little gauge on it, and the eggs go inside, and there's a turner inside that rotates them. So a broody hen will move her eggs around, but you don't want the membrane inside to stick, otherwise they won't hatch. So it's got a turner already in it, and it rotates. And then on lockdown, which is 3 days prior to the hatch date of 21 days, you take the turner out, you just place the eggs in, and you wait. That is the hardest part, the waiting part, not meddling in it. When
Emotional intelligence.
That's right. They are in there and they're positioned perfectly to do it in most cases, so they can hatch on their own. Occasionally they need help. That's a moral dilemma for some people. Do you help? Do you not? But the process of hatching is very neat. So they pip, which is when they make an internal inside the egg. You don't see anything into the air sac inside, and then they breathe a little bit of air. There's air inside the actual egg, which I thought was really neat. They breathe inside that space, and then they gain a little bit of energy. They absorb more of the yolk, and then they external pip. And that's the part where I'm hovering over going, oh my gosh. And eventually they zip. So anywhere from a couple hours to 24, even 36, they do a zip around the egg and they pop open. And then you have a wet looking bird that eventually fluffs up, like the ones you saw there in the nursery. We call it the nursery. So we're going to take a look at some baby chicks that just hatched. These guys are between 3 and 4 days old right now. I'll take them out and show you. We've got 3 what's called olive eggers. That's the mix of that Marin outside and our golden Americana. And we have one little blondie back there. And that is a purebred Marin. So I will... Oh, are you going to say? Yeah. You want to have anything to say? Yeah, so this is our little Marin. This one is actually just 3 days old. They hatch at different times. So they're, of course. I like to. It's got the soft peeps. It's not worried. Oh, you're going to coo.
Hi. So do you know if they're male or female yet?
We don't. So sexing of the chicks is, there are some chicks that are, have sex-linked traits, so their feathers will come out different colors depending on their gender. Or there's the ability to sex chickens using, gave you a little peck, using their vent and the type of pattern that they see. It takes an art form, of course. Yeah, just scoop them
from the back.
Yeah, that's usually the best. Yeah. Sexing chicks is a bit of an art form. But there are people out there who can do it. I am not one of those people. There's not a lot that I've never actually met anyone who can do it. So we don't know the gender. We do sell chicks, but we sell them unsexed. That one that you're holding now is an olive egger.
How old are they when you sell them?
So you can sell them in a day old. We don't. We actually sell them usually around 3 or 4 days, just because we want to make sure that they're healthy and they're doing well, and make sure that the place that they're going is prepared. Yeah, you can sell them as little as a day old. They mature a lot faster than human babies, that's for sure. That's my son's favorite. He calls that one Walter.
Walter.
Yeah.
So funny. Oopsie.
Oh, they're good jumpers already. You'll notice their water is actually a little bit yellow. We give them a poultry vitamin that we sprinkle into their water. Highly recommend it for anyone who wants to keep chicks. And we do feed medicated. Some people do, some people don't for their food. Medicated just means that there's a thiamine inhibitor in it. And the rationale behind that is that coccidiosis, which is something that's present in our environment and affects little baby chicks, increases their mortality rate if they can't fight it off. Thiamine is what it uses to survive, and so they it's got a thiamine inhibitor, so it doesn't allow the coccidiosis to survive. We only do that for the first 8 weeks, and then we put them on regular non-medicated crumble.
You're such a nurse. Oh my God.
I know, it's true. And that's the thing. Like you asked how we got started. And I mean, both of us have regular jobs. I am a nurse. I also raise a toddler, which is like 3 jobs. And my husband, who also raises a toddler, gotta give him credit. He has a desk job, that office that you saw outside. There's an external office. That's where my husband works from. He does telecommunications type work. So we both have regular jobs, yet we do this, and it's been extremely rewarding for us. I never, I don't tell a lot of people this, but when I was a kid, I didn't know where ham came from. What animal is that? The lack of education on your, where your food is coming from. And now being able to provide my son with that experience of raising chicks. He loves going in there. I think it's important for everybody, even if it's just a couple backyard chickens. It's a good start. It's a good start. And it spirals from there, and it gets exciting, and you learn things and you share with other people. And that's part of the community aspect of it too.
Yeah, it's even like we grew up with lots of animals in our house, and even having a dog and realizing that you're not the only, like, I look at our dog and I say to my daughter, okay, well, this is a trial period for you because she wanted the dog, how responsible you are, right? And obviously she's not. But anyway, now she's, over time, she's learned she has to pick up after the dog and feed the dog and walk the dog. And it's a big responsibility.
It definitely can be a big responsibility, but I think it's extremely rewarding. And I definitely found, like I said, with the I don't like this term, but the battery hens, the rescue hens that we do, that came later. We started off doing our own birds, and eventually we worked into doing that. It's extremely rewarding. And I think having kids involved in that and learning those kinds of things, whether it be a family dog our one here. Whether it be a family dog, it be chickens, whatever avenue you take, I do think it's important to teach kids that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, so if you want more information on the Wicked Chicken, how do they get in touch with you?
Our Instagram page, that's definitely the best. That's where you're going to see all our photos, all our lovely colored eggs. We do...
Is it the Wicked Chicken?
It is the Wicked Chicken. I don't know how many names we threw around, but the Wicked Chicken really stuck, and we loved it. And it actually came from Dory, the bird outside with the poof. She's very, very sweet. She's a Polish. She's super soft, and you're gonna think I'm odd, but she smells like a new puppy to me. She's very clean. She's a nice bird. So, yeah, she's no longer laying eggs, but we keep her anyways because she's really sweet. And we were like, well, she's a pretty wicked chicken, and it just it was magic. So we loved it. It's got a nice sound. Instagram, Wicked Chicken, the Wicked Chicken.
Can they buy eggs from you?
Absolutely. So we do sell eggs. We also do sell chicks, as I mentioned, and we occasionally do sell point of lay as well, but I have a hard time letting them go. Point of lay being when they're about to lay eggs, and older hens as well.
Okay, if you want more information about the Wicked Chicken, check her out on her Instagram page, _wicked_chicken. And if you want more information about Sooke, contact me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, and we'll see you later. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome to the neighborhood. We hope you have had some insight into West Coast living. If you know of someone or someplace that should be highlighted in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Please go to VancouverIslandTime.com and click on our Connect button. See you next week on Vancouver Island Time with Jane Johnston.